Hey.
So, how about this?
So how about this Weight Bet 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Well, Weight Bet 2 Electric Boogaloo is going to be amazing once I hit that ceiling portion.
When you're dancing on the ceiling.
Yes. So
upside down. And your girlfriend is just mildly amused in the corner. not horrified or amazed.
Right. Because that implies, one, that I will have a girlfriend. Two, I'll have the magic powers that I need in order to slim down to the point where I can dance on the ceiling. And three, obviously...
I mean, you're no Turbo.
I
wonder how many people have any fucking clue what we're talking about right now. So you have made a bet with yourself.
Yes.
That you're going to lose. Remind me of the number.
So I need to get to about 280 pounds
from
315, 310.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. No, for my self-esteem.
It was part of that was that's higher than the last time we talked about this.
Was it? I thought it was
I think the last time you just said 3. I didn't know I didn't know we had crested up into the 10-15.
It was 300 plus.
Definitely. Oh, okay. And you're trying to get to 280?
Yes.
By
I believe the deadline is March 13th.
Right, because the idea was we didn't want to just give you a deadline to where you hit 280 and you said, I did it, and then you just go right back up. So you want to maintain by March 280. And if you do not, you have to
pay $300 out in total, but $100 out to Donald Trump, fucking Carol Baskins, and to PETA.
Okay. I couldn't remember which exactly 3 it was. By the way, what is Trump even going to use that for now?
Well, he's probably going to use it for bail money.
Does he not need... Because he needs money, right? According to him, he's a billionaire. I don't know if that's true.
Well, somebody's got to support the truth getting out there.
Yeah.
So, might as well be me.
I need your money to just have it. Because he's not in a whatever.
Well, you don't become a billionaire by spending your own money.
Right.
You
Good
become
point.
a billionaire by spending other people's money.
So how are we doing on this weight bet? Where are we?
We are actually doing better than I thought we would, considering the holidays. For some reason, my brain's finished, and I was going to hear you say, considering the Holocaust, and I didn't know. I didn't know what that meant. I don't know where. Okay,
I haven't eaten in a little while. It's probably getting a little weird in there.
Okay,
all right.
Let's get you a banana, buddy. You need a banana?
Maybe. So sorry. Where are you?
So I have actually lost weight so far.
Okay.
I have dropped down to. I just checked.
I can tell by looking at you.
I just checked this morning. I think I hit like 307.
Okay.
Maybe 306. I need to lose essentially like another 26 pounds or so.
Okay.
Between like now and I think I have like a total of like 5 months left.
How much? I guess you just answered that. So you've made 7 or 8 pounds of progress since we last talked about this. So it's been about a month.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Right, yeah. And, a lot of it has just been, like, I'm getting back into working out.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I've hit that point where, like, working out is, like, in such a ridiculously terrible state of being. Because, like, I drive a long-ass time to get to work and a long-ass time to get home.
Mm-hmm.
When most people get off of work at, like, 5, get home by 6, and then they're, like, in bed by, like, 10 or 11, right? I probably get home at like 8 p.m. and I still go to bed by like 10 or 11. So it's like I got 3 hours when I get home. So
that's eating, that's working out, that's
doing
a lot.
Right, doing all the basics.
And if you're trying to lose weight, that's difficult because you don't want to spend a lot of time preparing. You want to hit the Dunkin' on the way. And,
right. So, but I've come up with two things, in addition to working out, which I've getting better at, like I literally started off at the start of like the month going like, all right, 5 minutes. That's all you got to do is work out for 5 minutes. And so, like, every day I've just been going home and being like, all right, we're going to add like another minute to this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like, we're going to keep on adding a minute to this, and, like doing some very basic calisthenics, doing curls, and like adding on reps and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting because one of the things I've noticed is when I stopped working out on like a rest day, my weight has actually dropped further.
I'm glad you said this. So we had just, in the recording we had just done, I accused you of not being able just to accept things as they are, even if they're shitty, right? This is one of those things that I haven't been able to accept yet. I get frustrated when people are really concerned about numbers, because if you're taking care of yourself and you're working out, chances are you're going to put on muscle. And muscle builds faster than fat goes away.
Right.
So when people are trying to, air quotes, lose weight, their scale starts going up and they go, well, I'm not losing weight, so I guess I'm going to stop.
Right.
And then they don't, you're building muscle underneath and it's going to take a little while. And my dad used to be a fucking bodybuilder. I can't remember the exact pattern, but he told me where you lose weight. It starts with your face. Mm-hmm. Then it goes to like your arms or something. And the very last one on the list is your stomach.
Right, yeah.
It's the last one. So you could be growing glistening abs underneath all that, and it's going to be a fucking while before you see them.
Right. And it is one of those things where, like, for most people, kind of what you're talking about is people go, oh, I need to lose the donut, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, it's going to be a year.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, man, it's like Rome was not built in a day. This is not going to be a minute.
Right.
If you treated your body like shit for 20 years, it's going to take you a minute, man, But like, I will say though, the psychological aspect of the weight bet is surprisingly effective.
You just don't want to give money to those people.
You don't understand how many times, because I've started doing a couple things, right? Just those two other things I was talking about. So like one of the things I've been doing is like when I do find myself going out to eat, my brain goes, go to McDonald's, get yourself number 2, number 3, whatever, right? And so now there's always a moment whenever I'm about to buy food, my brain goes, is that worth $300? Is having a donut worth giving Donald Trump $100?
I was about to ask, is the amount the deterrent, or is it where it's going the deterrent?
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Because you get hit first with the $300, and then it's like, because your brain goes like, it might be worth, and then it goes like, yeah, but do you really want Carol Baskins to have $100? And it's like, fuck, no. Like,
fair enough.
But the other thing that I've been doing is you get hit with that first, but then my brain goes, okay, so we don't want to do this, but we still want to eat or do whatever. So you can buy the thing, but you can only get half of what you wanted.
Okay.
So you go...
quantity, when it comes to you, quantity has always been my major concern. I have watched you eat like basically two...
Like a pig.
Two complete meals. And just like I'll have the whole appetizer and the steak and potato. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I mean, because I'm a fat
but even like stomach capacity, like it just seems like it would make you sick.
Like it. So that's the thing. It's like it's never. I guess it's kind of like a weird circular thing because it's that thing of when I was in college. Like it sounds so fucking lame, but like when I was in college, I could eat like that, and I did eat like that because I was constantly working out. Like I was doing judo on a competitive level. Like I was, it's like you would spend 2-3 hours, working out in the gym, doing judo, getting ready for things where I probably should have been studying for classes, but like it was like working out, and it was like, oh, you can eat like an animal because like who gives a shit? You're gonna be burning off. In fact, you should probably eat more because if you don't, you're just gonna burn off like 2,000 calories because you're gonna be throwing a 300-pound dude for like an hour and a half. You know, like fucking eat and don't die, please. You know, but like then I got hurt. Then I stopped doing judo, and I still kept on eating like that. So, like, you know, and your stomach just grows to a certain capacity.
Sure.
You know, I've actually considered getting, and the main thing that's stopping me from doing so is the, like, how expensive it is. But, like, I've actually considered getting, like, the gastric sleeve thing, which I don't know.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have done that, and it is instantly life-changing.
Right.
Like, you see them a couple months later, and you're like, holy, what happened to you?
Right. You know, and I would love that because, like, supposedly for someone of my height, I am supposed to weigh 200 pounds.
According to what?
According to, like, the
BMI
national
thing?
Yeah, the national recommendation of BMI.
Yeah, that's some.
To which I go, I would be comfortable at 200.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8", 5.
Okay, so how come you're at 5'8", 200 is right?
No, I'm supposed to weigh 180.
Okay. Because I'm 5'10", and I've lost a lot of weight in the last year. I'm at like I might even be at like 140 right now. I mean, I've always been a skinny fuck anyway, so that's part of it. But
I gotta say, I envy the people who've got like fast metabolisms because like there are some motherfuckers where you go like, hey, have this donut, and then they like come back like 20 minutes later, and they're like, I just lost 15 pounds. And then there are people...
That shit stops. You know, I was that guy, and I'm still thin, but I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was 21. I was sitting Indian style on the bedroom floor doing whatever I was doing.
Cocaine.
And I remember it was like an instantaneous thing. It wasn't like I had over time. It was like I looked down and I saw this belly, and I saw these man tits, and I went, what the fuck happened? Where did this come from? Right. It was weird. It was one of the weirdest experiences.
So to go back to what you were talking about with where you lose weight at, there is a certain portion of my life where as an adult, I have always looked down and been like, oh, I'm like a Victoria's Secret bee, right? You know? And one of the things I hope to gain from this is to go like, oh, I'm down to an A. That's great. You know,
you just want to change your bra size.
I mean, it would be nice to find something more affordable.
Have you ever dated a girl who started getting really fit and then started losing titty meat?
Yes.
That's a sad day for you. Great day for her. Well, or is it a great day for her? I'm not real sure who it's good for. So, but it's
so the woman that I'm thinking in my head who this happened to her, which I'm gonna share something fucked up that I probably shouldn't.
Oh, goody!
But here we go. So I dated a woman named Edwina.
Do you want to keep that in?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
She's never gonna listen to this.
Okay. Just don't say her last name.
I dated a woman named Edwina. The thing that always makes me laugh about that relationship is beyond the fucked up back and forth, you know, that we had is for the longest time when we were dating, she was trying to lose weight and she had lost weight. And, you know, there was that moment where she had lost some titty meat or whatever. And she was like, this is change. How do you feel about me? And part of me was like, no, bitch, what changed how I felt about you is when you started acting like a jerk all the time. But the thing that makes me laugh looking back on it in retrospect is like when we had first matched on Tinder, I was like, why does this name sound familiar? And then my biological mother had sent me like a Facebook request like a couple months after that. And guess what her name is?
I'm going to go with Edwina.
Yes. And it was one of those moments where you're like, oh, no.
Do you ever worry? I have this thought a lot, which probably says a lot about me. But do you ever worry like that because you don't have as far as I know, much of a connection with her. Do you ever worry that you'll accidentally like fuck your sister because you don't know that you have the same mom? Like I think about that with adopted people. Like how possible is it for an adopted person to accidentally like fall in love with their brother or something?
So I'm not. Here's the thing. I personally am not concerned about that. Just because one of my brothers does still live in Africa. Okay. So I fairly feel like the first moment I post up a photo of the two of us together, he would go, hey.
Yeah, but you've already fucked her at that point. That's the problem.
I assume that I would post a photo of the two of us together. Like, I'm not posting a nude of us on Facebook. Like,
no, dude. I'm saying you've been dating her and been fucking her, and then you introduce to the world, this is my girlfriend.
I know. I feel like we would just be in a... But you don't understand how Africans talk.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there would just be a photo of us, like, at a party, you know, like, together. Or we'd be like, hey, you know, like, meeting the... Like, hanging out with, you know, Blandina or whoever, right, at this party. And there she would be. And then Zubin would just be like, hey, don't fuck her. You know, like...
Okay. I mean, it sounds like you got a built-in failsafe. Good for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
So all of that was very relevant to your weight.
Right. So the progress report, to kind of sum it up, is I have...
Does your mom have to sign this, and do you have to bring it back to school?
It would be nice, although I feel like my mom would, like, sign this, and then she'd be like, oh, you don't need to lose weight,
that's sweet.
You know, like... You're fine, just the way. My mom is incredibly supportive, like, which is very
sounds like to a fault. Like, Mom, I'm on blood pressure medication.
Yeah, well,
no, you're fine the way you are.
So that's the thing is, like, she'll be like, you need to lose the weight, but she would also be like, but if it makes you happy, you know, and it's like,
wow.
The thing I love about my mom in a general context is like, she is, like, surprisingly progressive from, like, the generation that she came out of. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast before, but, like, I remember one time where, like, my mom is a Christian. Like,
I want to hear all of this, but I'm just realizing I just now figured us out. And I'm doing it right now. You said the progress report. I made a silly joke. And now somehow we ended into my mom is a hardcore Christian and supportive. And
I had not had a girlfriend for like 6 months or like a year or whatever. And so my mom asked me, and again, hardcore Christian. The hardcore Christian that goes like, homosexuality is a sin. Gay people just don't do it, like, but I remember, she was like, do you have a girlfriend? And I was like, no, I haven't been seeing anyone recently, yada, yada, yada. And my mom, there's a pause, and my mom goes, if you're gay, we can always find you a nice boy.
Wow.
Right? And I was like, no, I'm not gay.
That's hilarious.
But it really did touch my heart because the idea of my mom going like, well, I know that we believe it's a sin, but I am definitely willing to go to bat with St. Peter to be like, this is why you should let my son into heaven, even though he's quote unquote gay. And it's like, thank you, but I'm not,
I've got some close relatives who are Fox News mouthpieces. And anytime we get together, it doesn't happen immediately, but within an hour or two, apropos of nothing, somebody at the table goes, so how about that Fox News thing that everyone's talking about, you know? And if you've heard some of the vile shit that these people have said about homosexuality, but we have a cousin who just lost her like 18-year, I don't know if they were officially married, but wife, basically. And they were afraid to tell these other people because they knew these other people were pretty rooted in some traditional shit. And both of them impressed me so much because when that happened, both of them were like, well, what would we? Why would we care? Like, there was this, why would you not tell us? Why would we care? What do we give a fuck? And of course, on one hand, I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of these two. And on the other hand, I'm like, have you either of you ever heard the way you talk about gay people? What are you talking about?
There's always that thing in that kind of realm with people where it's like, oh, I kind of have to applaud you for hitting the bare minimum because I really didn't expect you to hit the bare minimum, but I shouldn't have to applaud you for that.
20 minutes, 10 seconds, progress report, go.
Right. Losing weight, working out more often, being more cognizant of my food choices, right? Doing the counting calories, dividing whatever I'm going to order at a restaurant in half, you know? So it's like you order the number.
I'll have 2 nuggets.
Right. So exactly. So it is literally like, okay, you wanted the 4-piece McNugget meal. You can either have the fries and the drink, or you can have the 4 nuggets. If all I want is 4 nuggets, then it's like you can have 2 of those.
Wow.
Right? And it's a constant battle of like if I know when I go home tonight, like I got fucking brownies in my fridge and like a creme brulee that somebody gave me, which was very nice of them, but it's also like, oh, you fucking bastard. And it's one of those things of like, I know tonight there's going to be a moment where it's like, I want to eat one of those, and what's going to end up happening is I'm going to pollute myself in other ways because I'm probably going to end up having tea with it. But I know I'm going to go, all right, let me take this brownie and cut it in half because the thing that I want is the brownie.
The thing that you want is to not give Donald Trump $100.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. I do not want to give Donald Trump I don't want to give him $100. I don't want to give Pete $100. I don't want to give Carol Baskin. They can all go fuck themselves. Yeah. But what I will accept is eating half the brownie, and then if I want a brownie later on, I will come back and go, well, do you want that second half of the brownie? Awesome. Cut that in half.
Okay, so before we end, I think I just found a way to take this shit to the next level.
And what's that?
Not only do you have to give them $100, but you have to like receive some kind of like thank you notification from them, and then you have to post that on social media. You have to share with the world that you gave Carol Baskins $100.
You don't understand how just the notion of holding up the giant novelty check.
I'm not, I'm trying to be more realistic. I'm sure there's some kind of certification or something you can get from them.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is like the image in my head of like holding up the giant novelty check and Donald Trump on one end and me on the other, and just me, like it's like that moment you see.
And he's smiling and you're just doing the stank face.
Right. And it's that moment of like, he's like pulling the check out of your hands and you're like, no, fuck. Like that breaks my spirit a little. Like I'm saying this right now. I genuinely think if I was in that situation, I would be frustrated, angry, and then I would cry. Because I would feel like such a failure. Like if I had to physically hand him a check for $100.
Oh God! So let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, we will come back for another update. This has been your whatever we call these minisodes. Yeah. So how about this? Goodbye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of So How About This. If you liked that episode, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or leave a review. If you really like this, tell a friend. If you hated us, tell somebody you also hate. Tell 5 people that you hate about us. Find your arch enemy and convince them to listen to our podcast because you hate us so much and you want to punish them for it. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at So How About This One. That's the words So How About This followed by the number 1. If you have any questions you want answered on the show, just hit us up on Twitter and don't forget to stay tuned for new episodes.